Hey kindergarten, it's Miss Boyd, and today we're going to be talking about our tricky words. Alright, so we're going to be talking about tricky words for this week. So first we're going to review and go back over the tricky words we've already learned. So I'm going to have them up on the screen, and when they pop up on the screen, you can read them with me. I'll see what you can remember. The first one is 1, 2, 3, the, a, remember you can say a or a, blue, yellow, look, I, are, little, down, out, of. Remember, these are all of the tricky words that we have already gone over this year. All right, so we have a new tricky word, 2 new tricky words that we're going to be talking about this week. So our first tricky word looks a little like this. So this tricky word is funny. So when you see this tricky word, it is pronounced funny. Like, they are so funny. So we're going to talk about which parts are tricky. So what is the first letter you see in funny? It is an F. And what sound does F make? Good. It says, so that part is not tricky. It still says in funny. The next letter is a U, and U says So that part is still the same. The next letter is a N, and what sound does N make? It says So those parts are the same. The last 2 letters are the tricky part. So the last 2 letters, the N and the Y. So it looks like it would say yeah. Yeah. Is that a word? No. This word is funny. So when we see 2 N's together, it just makes one sound. So it looks like they would say but they would just make one sound. So it would say Remember, it would not say it would just say The Y, remember, it does not say y in this word. It actually says E. So that is the very tricky part. When you see the word funny, you have to remember the Y says E. It does not say y. It says E. So we would have to say it E. E. Try it with me. E. E. One more time. E. E. What is this word? Funny. So we're going to try to use the word funny in a sentence. So I have a sentence up, and it has the word funny in it. So I am going to read it, and I want you to read it with me after I read it. Sam is funny. Read it with me. Sam is funny. Which word is our tricky word? Funny. I want you to think of a sentence with the tricky word funny in it. So I'm going to give you some time to think. Think of a sentence with the tricky word funny. Got it? All right. I want to hear it. What is your sentence with the tricky word funny? Make sure you tell someone in your house your sentence with the tricky word funny. All right, we're going to move on to our next tricky word. We have 2, so we already did 1. We have 1 more. This is our next tricky word. I want you to look at that tricky word. It looks like it would say, what sound does A make? What sound does L make? O. What sound does L make? O. Owl. Owl. Is that a word? Owl? No. So let's see what parts are tricky. The entire word is tricky. So we're going to have to pay very close attention so we know how to read this word. So the A normally says ah, but in this tricky word, it says ah, ah. Can you think of what letter actually says ah? Good, letter O says ah, but in this word, A is going to say ah. So when you see this word, it says ah. And L normally says ul, and just like in funny, two letters together, it's going to make one sound. So two L's is just going to make one ul sound. So it won't say ul, it'll just say ul. So this word is all, ul, all. Can you say this word all? All. We all are going to the movies. We all are going to the movies. This word is all. All, ul. All, ul. Say it with me. All, ul. All. I'm going to use all in a sentence. I'm going to read it, then I want you to read it with me. We all went to eat pizza. Read it with me one more time. We all went to eat pizza. What's my tricky word? All. I want you to think of a sentence with the tricky word all. Got it? All right, go ahead and share. What is your sentence with the tricky word all? Sorry if you can hear the guinea pigs in the background. They're running around. Very good. All right, you did a very good job. So before we close out, I want to talk about our tricky word challenge. So I want you to keep practicing your tricky words that we've already learned, but I want you to focus on these two new tricky words. What were our two new tricky words? Funny and all. So first, I want you to write funny 3 times, and I want you to write all 3 times. How many times do I want you to write them? 3 times. Remember, parents, if your student struggles with writing their letters or their words, you can try to write them in marker or highlighter and have the student trace over them. Then I want you to practice using funny and all in a sentence, just like we just did on the PowerPoint. And I want you to try to write it. Remember, your sentence does not have to be perfect. As long as you are trying, that's all that matters. Remember, try to use different sentences. The more you practice with it, the better you are getting with using your tricky words. And the last part of your challenge is I want you to try to make the words funny and all with anything you can find in your house. So it can be toys, it can be pennies, it can be candy, it could be paper, it could be cutouts from a magazine, it could be anything you find in your house. And I want you to try to build the tricky words funny and all with them. So I found some crayons lying around my house and I built one of the words. So I want you to tell me if you can guess which word it is, if it's funny or if it's all. So I have a picture. So I use crayons. Which word do you think that is? Do you think that's funny or do you think that's all? It's the tricky word funny. So I used my crayons and I built the and I built the N, and I built the E. So I want you to find some things in your house to try to build funny and all. And you can take a picture of it and you can send it to me or Miss Dyer, or you can just show someone in your house. I just want you to have some fun and try to work with those tricky words. And I will talk to you next week. Bye.